You know, yeah, it's there's a balance between personalization and being creepy,
Yeah.
and consumers tell us over and over and over again that they um, want personalized content. Like they do want it, um, as long as it is like personalized and not creepy. And then the challenge is that brands don't have enough time to create all that content, or they haven't had enough to create that content. So, like Dalton, you might want over the ear headphones, and I want AirPods. So like now I've got to create two versions of a campaign that go out the door, and maybe somebody else on the list wants those earbuds that go, or the headphones that go behind your head. So if I'm like Best Buy or an electronics retailer and I want to sell earphones, now I have to create three different variations of my email, and I have to
Mhm.
have three different photo shoots in order to account for that. And
Three different
now you just
approvals,
go down.
internal approvals as well.
Right, all of it. So, our teams are not currently set up to execute with the current tool set all of those different content campaigns. But the tools have changed, and that's where like generative allows us to do something totally different. And that's the foundation of Backstroke, which is pretty fun, and why we're digging into this area, because the opportunity to personalize is there. The technology is now there, and we are working with leading brands today to solve that problem, which is pretty fun.
I find it incredibly interesting the opportunity that you are attacking with Baxter. I
Yeah,
just like the whole concept is quite cool. Like there's currently a problem being solved, but then it scales to like this thing that like you wouldn't really even be able to, like, you wouldn't really understand. Like you can understand the direction, but you don't necessarily understand like how it would happen. Like
yeah,
how do you have 1 million individualized email campaigns? But
yeah.
curious on the now is when you contract with a firm and you have this firm built model and it it has, say, maybe there's some kind of testing phase and it's okay, like it has our brand image slash language dialed, we're dialed in, we're good with it. Does that speed up the ability for people to iterate? And then is there, from like curation to out the door, is much faster given that there isn't that many moving parts? And then
Yeah.
also I think if the if that stuff is dialed, like I said, then there's just less time that needs to be taken to like go through the whole approval process.
Yes, is the answer to that question. It is, once we have a brand configuration. Sometimes we call it the brand brain.
Hmm.
But you kind of brief in that part of the product once, and as long as it knows your fonts, colors, tone, style, taste that are all included in your brand guide, then it can create variants that are all on brand. And suddenly, you as a human, like as a creative director, or you as a content strategist, get to review content instead of creating the content. And Backstroke and these AI tools are great for lots of things, not everything. I think that human creativity is still very much required. I have a master's in creative writing, so I come from a very creative background, and I believe in the power of creativity. But it's kind of that whole thing I was talking about earlier, like brand or agencies and brand teams would say like, oh, I'm really good at strategy. I'm really good at taste. Like I have good taste. I'm a curator of content, like that type of stuff. But we spend all of our time, and actually a lot of agencies cost out, like what you buy is hours. You buy hours of production time, or you buy a number of emails created. You don't buy, like in the strategy, a lot of times is included, because it's hard to quantify how many strategies you get, or how much strategy you get. You know, it's like, how much time did I think about you? Those are the things
Mm.
that are always, it's like tough to quantify. So instead, they've gone to output, and I think that the output is going to be the byproduct of that strategy and what you're going to end up buying and be interested in. And we as humans have to really be good at ideas, creativity, strategy, taste, curation, those types of things, which are all like softer skills and harder to um, quantify in a contract.
Mm.
And it's also harder to describe on a resume, for example, and put on your LinkedIn page or put into a portfolio